You know that person who never posts anything? Maybe they are your friend. Maybe they are you. While the rest of the world is frantically documenting every second of their holiday, they are just enjoying their holiday. And while you might think they are missing out, there is a chance they have figured out a secret the rest of us have completely missed. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you thought about posting a photo, but didn't? That tiny gap, that momentary hesitation before you hit share, tells you everything. Because in those few seconds, your brain is doing a rapid-fire calculation. Will people like this? Does this make me look good enough? Is my life actually interesting enough to seek validation from 247 people I haven't spoken to in years? There is a sociologist named Erving Goffman who talked about how we all wear different masks in society. We curate ourselves to control how others see us. But here's the thing. Social media didn't invent this mask. It just put that mask on a permanent stage in front of a billion-person audience forever. In real life, an awkward moment fades away. Online, one bad caption is permanent. Anyone can scroll back and judge it whenever they please. So, the people who refuse to post? They aren't hiding. They are simply skipping the performance completely. They are refusing to step onto a stage where the curtain never closes. Studies show that about 30 to 40% of social media users are what researchers call lurkers, people who scroll but never share. And that word sounds a bit creepy, right? Like they are just hiding in the shadows, quietly watching everyone else. But research published in Frontiers in Psychology found something fascinating about why this actually happens. When you combine the constant pressure to post with a deep, lingering fear of being judged, something inside you breaks. The study found that mixing this outside pressure with the habit of comparing yourself to others creates pure exhaustion. So, those feelings make people just watch instead of post. Translation: your brain is desperately trying to protect you. It knows that comparing your Tuesday afternoon reality to someone else's highlight reel is not just unhelpful, it is poison. And here is the trap you do not even see coming. Even when you consciously know social media is completely fake, your brain still falls for it. You see someone's sudden promotion, their flawless engagement ring, or their brand new house. And even though your logical mind knows it is highly staged, the damage is already done. Your subconscious mind does not care if it is real life or a performed life. It does not filter out the perfect lighting or the 50 discarded takes. It just looks at the glowing screen and says, "They have more than me." The people who refuse to post are actively avoiding this constant, exhausting mental attack. And they are doing it not because they are weak or antisocial, but because they know the game is completely rigged. Why would you voluntarily join a competition where everyone else controls the camera, the angles, and the entire story? But here's an interesting question. If social media is so mentally exhausting, why do these exact same people still spend hours staring at their screens? There is this whole group of people who avoid social media entirely, yet they will use YouTube religiously. They will completely ignore a fast-paced TikTok feed or a curated Instagram story, but they will happily sit down and binge-watch a 3-hour video essay about something completely random. Why? What makes this so different? Because YouTube does not demand a performance. It is one of the only places left on the internet where you can simply consume content without carrying the heavy weight of social pressure. Think about it. On YouTube, no one is tracking your social status. No one is monitoring your activity to see if you liked your friend's recent update. Absolutely no one is wondering why you have not posted a new video in 3 months. The platform does not expect you to be a creator or to maintain a flawless public image. It allows you to just be a viewer. You are free to just learn, to laugh, and to just exist in the moment. It is the ultimate passive relationship with digital content. You get all of the entertainment, all of the deep dives, and all of the knowledge, with absolutely none of the anxiety. They have not disconnected from the modern world at all. They have just quietly found the loophole. There is a concept in psychology called self-determination theory. It basically says that human beings thrive the most when they feel completely in control of their own choices, free from outside pressure. But social media is the exact opposite of that. It is a massive validation machine. It takes your personal sense of self-worth and ties it directly to quantifiable metrics, like hearts, views, and comments. People who avoid posting are not doing it to be difficult or antisocial. They are actively protecting their autonomy. They are making a quiet but incredibly powerful statement. My confidence does not need to be crowdsourced. They have realized that their self-esteem simply does not require the daily approval of strangers on the internet. This brings us to a fascinating psychological divide. Psychologists actually separate self-awareness into two completely different categories. First, there is public self-consciousness. This is that constant, exhausting worry about how other people perceive you. It is the voice in your head asking, "How will this look?" Then, there is private self-consciousness. This is when you turn that focus inward, reflecting on your own thoughts, your own core values, and how you actually feel. People who opt out of the posting game lean heavily into this second category. By stepping away from the digital stage, they stop asking, "How will this look to everyone else?" Instead, they ask, "How does this actually feel to me?" And because they are not constantly burning their mental energy trying to curate and manage a flawless public image, something beautiful happens. They have the mental space left over to truly observe the world around them. Their digital silence does not mean they do not care. In fact, they are often the most observant people you will ever meet. They are the ones who notice that slight change in your posting frequency. They easily pick up on that slightly different masked tone in your recent caption. They are not checked out of society. They are paying very close attention, just doing it quietly. They naturally prefer understanding over performing. They consistently choose depth over noise. This is not overthinking. This is profound emotional intelligence. Here is the thing that so many people completely miss. Choosing not to post is not the same thing as hiding. It is not about being afraid of the world or lacking confidence. It is actually about power. It is making a very clear, silent statement to yourself. My private life is inherently valuable. It is rich, it is full, and it absolutely does not need to be packaged, filtered, and shared for public consumption in order to mean something. There is a hidden, heavy cost to turning your life into a constant broadcast. We often forget that some experiences actually get worse the moment you try to perform them for an invisible audience. Think about it. That stunning, fleeting sunset is instantly more beautiful when you are not frantically trying to capture the perfect aesthetic angle. That late-night conversation with a close friend is profoundly more meaningful when you are completely present, instead of secretly mentally writing the perfect caption to summarize it later. And that hard-fought personal achievement? It is deeply more satisfying when it belongs solely to you, instead of being served up for public applause. People who stay offline understand a fundamental truth. The exact moment you pull out your phone to prove you are living a good life, you stop actually living in that moment. They choose to experience their lives, rather than just record them. But here is the greatest paradox of all. The very things that make someone step away from social media, like security, self-reflection, and autonomy, are exactly what social media originally promised to give us. It promised connection. It promised community. Instead, it built a massive performance economy where being completely authentic is the rarest thing you can find. We have reached a strange point in society where staying silent online is somehow considered weirder than posting 3 times a day. The people who choose to opt out are not rejecting human connection, not at all. They are simply rejecting the terms and conditions of the app. They are choosing to connect on their own terms, in real time, completely without the show. They know that they would much rather have 5 real friends who actually know what is happening in their messy, everyday lives than 1,000 casual acquaintances who just double-tap a photo. They understand that 10 deep, real-life conversations will always beat 1,000 passive reactions on a screen. So, here is what I want you to think about. What if the people who do not use social media are not missing out on anything? What if they are the ones who figured it out first? Because at the end of the day, when the screen finally goes dark, nobody on their deathbed wishes they had posted more content. But plenty of people wish they had lived more. The quiet ones are not hiding in the shadows. They are just living beautifully in the light, right where the cameras cannot reach them. If this perspective hit home for you, please hit that subscribe button. And if you want to support these deep dives, consider hitting the join button to become a channel member. I would genuinely appreciate it.